A Song at Twilight by Noël Coward, with Michael Denison as Hugo Latymer, Jill Bennett as Hilde Latymer, Dulcie Gray as Carlotta, and Sean Barrett as Felix the waiter. A Song at Twilight.
That will be all for the moment, Felix.
Lady.
Sir Hugo's guest is due at 8 o'clock, but it is possible she might be a little late, so I think you should be prepared to serve dinner about 8:30, but not before.
A touch of garlic in the salad dressing as usual?
Yes, but only the smallest touch. We don't want a repetition of last Friday, do we?
Friday night is much to be regretted, milady. But if you will remember, I was off duty. Giovanni is a most willing boy, but he is not yet accustomed to Sir Hugo's tastes.
You will warn him to be more careful next time.
Very good, milady.
Hello? Oh, is that you, Carl? This is Hilde Latymer speaking. I've been trying to get you all the afternoon. First of all, regarding the lecture tour in the States. Yes, I know. But Sir Hugo really isn't up to it. Oh, yes, he is much better. But he mustn't undertake anything that is not absolutely necessary. Yes, he will accept the doctorate at the university and make a speech as arranged, but nothing more than that. No, I am truly sorry, but it can't be helped. Now, then, regarding the film proposition for the Winding River, you will have to put in the contract that he has complete veto on the script and the adapter. Well, he certainly won't sign it unless that is confirmed in writing. On the contrary, I think it matters a great deal. It involves his name and reputation.
What involves my name and reputation?
It's Carl. We're talking about the Winding River contract.
Then you're both wasting your time. I've no intention of signing it, whatever concessions they make.
But Hugo, dear, you did say that providing they gave you complete veto of the script and adapter...
Well, I've changed my mind. I've had no less than 3 novels and 5 of my best short stories massacred by the cretinous medium. I refuse to have any more of it.
I can't talk any more at the moment, Carl. Ring me in the morning at 11 o'clock. Very well, 10 o'clock, but be sure to have it put through to my room. Yes, 355. Goodbye.
Carl's getting out of hand. He needs a serious talking to. All he thinks about is his damn percentage.
You can't altogether blame him for that. He is your agent.
What time is it?
Nearly 7:30. Isn't that clock going?
I haven't the faintest idea. It's so exquisitely made I can't see it without my glasses.
You said you were delighted with it when I gave it to you.
Well, I'm not now.
Well, I'm sorry. I will try to change it.
I don't look martyred. It draws your mouth down at the corners like a weary old camel.
Thank you.
With 2 unsymmetrical humps.
That's a dromedary. Have you had your bath?
No, I've not had my bath.
Well, don't you think you should? She's due at 8.
If I'm not ready, she can wait for me, can't she? An extra 10 minutes tacked onto all those years can't matter all that much. Damn that bloody instrument. Why can't you have it switched into your room and go and sit by it?
You're in a very disagreeable mood.
I'm nervous.
It's your own fault if you are. You needn't have agreed to see her.
For God's sake, answer it.
Hello? Hello? Oui? À l'appareil? Mariette, c'est vous?
Oh, my God.
Non, je ne suis pas certain. Si vous pouvez attendre pour un petit moment, je vais voir. It's Mariette.
Curiously enough, I gathered that. Why didn't you say I was out?
I can still say you're still being massaged.
You said that last time. She'll think I spent my whole life being massaged. Here, give it to me.
Instant, Mariette.
Ma chère Mariette, enfin. Je suis absolument ravi d'entendre ta voix. Comment vas-tu? Ah, alas, no, my dear, I cannot possibly. I already have a rendezvous this evening. No, not that kind at all. No, this is a rendezvous with the past. The very, very far distant past. No, nobody you've ever heard of. It was all over and done with before you were born. Not another word. I've said far too much as it is. Very well. Luncheon on Tuesday. À bientôt, chérie. There's no getting out of that. You're looking sour, Hilde. What's the matter now?
I think you are indiscreet. Mariette is the most incorrigible gossip. Do you want the whole of Switzerland to know about your private affairs? Oh, do go and have your bath
I only said I had a rendezvous with the past, which is perfectly true. I have.
You make it sound furtive, almost romantic.
Perhaps it will be.
You would wish it to be romantic?
No, Hilda, I've long ago given up wishing that anything could be romantic.
I find it difficult to believe that you ever did.
Ever did what?
Sigh for the moon and the stars. Open your heart to illusion.
I admit that I've always preferred realism to fantasy.
Even when you were young and in love with Carlotta?
Even then.
I still think all this is a great mistake.
Yes, I know you do. You've made that abundantly clear during the last 3 days. You've never been exactly adept at hiding your feelings.
On the contrary, Hugo, that is one of the things that I do best. Living with you for 20 years has been excellent training.
Why are you so frightened of Carlotta?
I am not in the least frightened of Carlotta.
Oh, yes, you are. The very idea of her fills your soul with dread. Come on now, admit it.
It is time for your blue pill.
You'd better take a tranquilizer to calm your desperate fears.
Whatever fears I may have about Carlotta are entirely on your account. She is bound to upset you in some way or another. She wouldn't suddenly reappear in your life like this unless she wanted something. Here you are.
Perhaps she wants a reunion.
Money, more likely. She has not been very successful during the last 15 years.
You've been following her career?
There hasn't been much of a career to follow lately.
Poor Carlotta.
She will upset you. I feel it in my bones. It's like the weather. I can always tell when it is going to rain.
That particular form of prescience is rheumatic rather than clairvoyant.
I will say no more.
Turn round, Hilda. I don't like talking to your back. It's such a Teutonic, uncompromising back.
Is that better?
Give me your hand.
A lump of sugar for a good little dog?
I see you're determined to be tiresome.
It's unfair of you to say that. It's you I am thinking of. You've been so much better lately. Dr. Benoit said your blood pressure is back to normal, you're sleeping well, and you haven't had any pains for 3 weeks. I just don't want you to have a relapse. You know that any sort of excitement is bad for you.
Do you seriously believe that seeing Carlotta again will excite me to the extent of sending up my blood pressure?
You've been giving every indication of it.
Oh, Hilda, what an egregious ass you are.
You have now called me a camel, a dromedary, and an ass within the last 10 minutes. Your normal dialogue is just zoological. You have worked yourself up into a state about seeing Carlotta again, and it's no use pretending to you that you haven't. I know the symptoms. I haven't been with you for 20 years for nothing. Be careful. That's all I ask of you.
Now listen to me, Hilda. My affair with Carlotta lasted exactly 2 years, and we parted in a blaze of mutual acrimony. That was many years ago, and I haven't clapped eyes on her since, except once on the cinema screen when she appeared briefly as a Mother Superior in an excruciatingly bad film about a nun with a vast bust. Nor have we corresponded. This sudden request on her part to see me again has not unnaturally filled me with curiosity. It's quite possible that your surmise is right and that she wants to borrow money. If that is so, I will lend her some for old time's sake. On the other hand, she may merely want to see me for sentimental reasons, or to gloat over my age and infirmity.
You are not infirm.
After all, you must remember she was very much in love with me.
And you with her?
Of course.
She was beautiful, of course.
Not in the classical sense, but she was extremely attractive, and her vitality was inexhaustible.
I suspect that it still is.
Even so, the chances of a passionate physical reunion are remote.
So I should hope. The very idea would be ridiculous.
Not quite so ridiculous as all that. Anyway, you can't deny that the possibility crossed your mind.
I most certainly do deny it.
Isn't that over-vehemence a trifle suspect?
Suspect? What do you mean?
Quite frankly, I suspect you of being jealous.
No, Hugo. I am not jealous. I realized many years ago that I have no right to be jealous.
You're jealous of all my friends, of anyone who is close to me, and you always have been.
You have not so many friends for me to be jealous
You hate
of.
Mariette. You are barely civil to Cedric Markham and David when they come here.
They are barely civil to me.
Cedric Markham is a man of brilliant intelligence and exquisite taste. He's also the greatest connoisseur of modern art alive today.
And what is David?
David is one of the most promising young painters that England has produced in the last 20 years. He also happens to be the son of Lord Tenterden.
In that case, he should have better manners. And his paintings I do not care for at all. They are ugly and cruel.
As a full-blooded German, you are scarcely in a position to object to cruelty in art or anything else.
It is wrong of you to speak to me like that, Hugo, and most unkind. You cannot, after all these long years, seriously imagine that I am jealous of your friends or your heart. If I am jealous at all, it is for your well-being.
For God's sake, stop looking hurt, Hilda. It infuriates me.
If you do not wish me to look hurt, you should not try so hard to hurt me. I do my best to help you with the business of your life, even to love you as far as you will allow me to. But to make it most difficult for me. Sometimes almost too difficult to be borne.
Oh, Lord, I suppose we're going to cry.
No, Hugo, I am not going to cry. I am going to put on my hat.
Hilde.
If you are determined to receive your long-lost love in a dressing gown with your hair all rumpled, that is entirely your affair.
Hilde, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I upset you.
It is nothing new.
I'm beginning to feel those palpitations again.
I am not surprised.
I wonder what Carlotta looks like. She's been in America most of her life. She'll probably have bright blue hair. Or else she'll be defeated and grey and bedraggled and make me feel old.
Oh, do not be foolish. You know perfectly well that you only feel old when you wish to.
I don't feel now that I can face her alone. You'd better stay after all.
Certainly not. I have already arranged to dine with Liesel at the Grub door and go to the cinema afterwards.
Liesel is a weather-beaten old German lesbian.
She is also highly intelligent.
Is she in love with you?
Not in the least. She lives with a Chinese student who paints butterflies on glass.
Whatever for?
She happens to be very talented.
Put Liesel off. Don't go. Stay with me. I need your support.
I can't. She has already booked the tickets and reserved a table.
I'll cut the film, then come straight back here after dinner.
No, Hugo. You brought this situation on yourself, and you will have to deal with it yourself.
You've ordered our dinner?
Yes. Felix will bring it when you ring.
I think I should like a drink to fortify me.
I'll ring for some ice. It had better be vodka. You're having it with the caviar, anyhow.
I never told you to order caviar.
No, it was my own idea. I ordered pink champagne, too.
Pink champagne? Good God, why?
You're always accusing me of not having a sense of humor. I thought I'd like to prove you wrong.
Is the rest of the menu equally plutocratic?
No, comparatively simple. Steak béarnaise, green salad, and a chocolate souffle.
I shan't sleep a wink.
I shouldn't count too much on that anyhow. The Melox tablets are in the table drawer if you should need them. Give Sir Hugo a vodka on the rocks, will you, Felix?
Very good, milady.
I won't be more than a few minutes.
I missed you sadly last evening, Felix. Where did you disappear to?
It was my half-day off, sir.
Your substitute lacked charm. He also breathed like an old locomotive.
That was Giovanni, sir. He comes from Calabria.
The railway journey must have made a profound impression on him.
Your vodka, sir.
Thank you. Did you enjoy your half-day off?
Oh, yes, sir. We went to swim in the piscine at Veve. It is not so crowded as the one here. And then we came back and went to a movie.
We?
My friend and I. He is the assistant barman at the Hotel de la Paix. He is a champion swimmer and has won many trophies.
You look as though you should be a good swimmer yourself with those shoulders.
Not as good as he is. But I myself love to water ski. It is a great sport.
It must be. Water skiing was not invented when I was your age. Thank you, Felix. You will bring the dinner when I ring.
Very good, sir.
It should be in about half an hour's time, depending on when my guest arrives.
Bien, monsieur.
Are you feeling more relaxed?
More resigned, at any rate. That's quite a masculine-looking little hat, almost a bowler. You wearing it as a subtle gesture to your hostess?
You know, I dislike that sort of joke, Hugo. Liesel has been a good friend of mine for many years. I'm very fond of her. The other side of her life is of no interest to me.
There now.
Oui, Gaston. Demandez à Madame de monter tout de suite.
Some woman is early.
No, it is you who are late. Go quickly. It would be inelegant to receive an ex-mistress in your dressing gown, however old she is. I will talk to her until you're ready. Go along.
Oh, promise me you cut the cinema and come straight back after dinner.
That all depends. I'll think about it. Go along. Hurry. I am Hilde Latymer. How do you do?
Of course. I recognize your voice. You were so kind on the telephone.
My husband is dressing. He won't be more than a few minutes. Please, be so kind as to sit down and take a cigarette if you should care to smoke. They are in that tortoiseshell box.
What a delightful room. Is that a Renoir?
Yes. Would you care for a drink?
I'd rather wait a little. How is he, Hugo? Sir Hugo?
Oh, he is almost completely well again. He has, of course, to take care not to overdo things and not to become agitated or unduly excited. He has always been nervously overstrung, as you may probably remember.
I don't remember him being overstrung exactly. On the contrary, his studied calmness, no matter what emotional hurricanes he might encounter, used occasionally to irritate me. But it was all so long, long ago. He's had ample time to change, as indeed we all have. You've been married for 20 years, haven't you?
Yes. He engaged me as his secretary in January 1965, and a few months later we were married.
I remember the headlines. It caused quite a sensation.
Yes, I know it did. There was much foolishness written in the papers.
You're not in the least like I thought you'd be.
Indeed. What did you expect?
Someone more grim, less vulnerable. A dragon guarding the throne.
You put things so picturesquely, Miss Grey. Perhaps you should have been a writer yourself.
The idea has crossed my mind. Hugo used to accuse me of being garrulous and over-articulate long ago. How does he feel about seeing me again, after so long?
I cannot say. He is curious, naturally.
And you?
I have no feelings about it one way or the other.
I will accept the snub, but I'm not entirely convinced by it.
It was not intended to be a snub. You will please forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive. I find it perfectly understandable that you should be suspicious of me. It's the duty of even the kindliest of protective dragons to be wary of strangers. It's sad we didn't meet in earlier, different circumstances. We might have been friends.
Thank you, Miss Grey.
Hugo. What a strange moment this is, isn't it? I planned so many things to say, and now they've gone clean out of my head. Do we embrace?
Why not, Carlotta?
How well you look. Slim as ever and so distinguished. White hair definitely becomes you.
The years seem to have forgotten you, Carlotta.
Oh, no, my dear. It isn't that they have forgotten me. It's that I have remembered them and taken the right precautions.
You and Hilde have already made friends, I see.
Yes. As a matter of fact, we have. Hilde, it's been puzzling me where I could have seen you before, but now I remember. There's a photograph of you in Hugo's autobiography. You're leaning against a pillar and shading your eyes with your hand, as though you were worried about the weather.
The pillar was one of the columns of the Parthenon.
The light was very strong.
Alas, there's no photograph of me in the book. At least, only a verbal one. The light was a little too strong in that, too.
Can I offer you a drink?
Oh, yes, by all means. I should love one.
Whiskey, brandy, gin, vodka.
Vodka, please, on the rocks. Oh, Hugo, I expected you to look much older. That's beside the point nowadays, isn't it? I mean, people hardly ever look their real age anymore. Time is learning to accept a few defeats. It's rather fun frustrating the old monster.
Your vodka, Miss Grey?
Thank you so much.
I'm afraid I must leave you both now. I have a dinner engagement.
Oh, how disappointing. I had hoped to get to know you better.
We shall probably meet again.
Of course. We're almost bound to. I've moved into this hotel.
Oh?
Don't be alarmed. I shall only be here for a few days. I'm having a series of injections at the clinique. It's more convenient to be here than in Vevey.
Au revoir, then, Miss Grey.
À bientôt, Lady Latimer. Oh, look. How lovely it is with the lights glittering in the distance. I went over to Evian the other evening on the little steamer and won nearly 1,000 francs.
Can you afford to play so high?
Oh, yes. I have a certain amount put by. And I also still get alimony from my last husband.
Have you had many others?
2 before this one. They both died. One in an air crash and the other in the war.
Did you love them?
Oh, yes. I shouldn't have married them if I hadn't.
Have you any children?
Yes. I had a son by my second husband. He's 24 now and very attractive. You'd love him. He's an entomologist.
I don't believe I've ever met an entomologist. That's insects, isn't it?
Yes. There's a great deal more to insects than meets the eye.
I'm sure there is. Personally, I've never felt particularly drawn to them.
I expect you thought that the bombardier beetle shoots compressed air from its intestines, whereas in actual fact it is highly explosive rocket fuel which it produces in 2 of its glands.
I must admit that has been baffling me for some time.
And grasshoppers. You must like grasshoppers.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't.
They converse by rubbing their back legs together.
I'm beginning to wish we did.
Am I to drink alone?
Too much alcohol is bad for me.
Too much alcohol is bad for everyone. Just pour yourself a teeny-weeny one to keep me company.
Really, Carlotta, you're too absurd.
She's nice, your wife. I like her.
I'm so glad.
In spite of the fact that she doesn't care for me much. I don't think you quite did her justice in your book. But then you weren't very nice about anyone in your book, were you?
You were under no obligation to read it.
There was no warning on the cover. You take a fairly jaundiced view of your fellow creatures, don't you, on the whole?
Perhaps. I prefer to see people as they are, rather than as more sentimental minds would wish them to be. However, I'm a commentator, not a moralist. I state no preferences.
Admirable.
I would hate you to imagine that I'm unaware of the mocking expression in your eye.
Don't worry. I'd never suspect you of missing a trick. Except perhaps the most important one of all.
And what might that be?
The knack of discovering the best in people's characters, instead of the worst.
Without wishing to undermine your radiant self-confidence, I must break it to you that has been said often before, usually by ardent lady journalists.
1, 2, 1, 2, and through. The vorpal blade went snicker-snack.
My dear Carlotta, I had no idea that you had such a thorough grounding in the classics. You were virtually illiterate when we first met.
It was you who set my stumbling feet upon the path of literature, Hugo. It was you who opened my eyes to many wonders.
Oh, don't talk such nonsense.
You worked assiduously on my virgin mind. And now I come to think of it, you didn't do so badly with my virgin body.
Please don't talk like that, Carlotta. I find it distasteful.
Try not to be so easily cross with me. It's almost too reminiscent. You always told me I was vulgar. According to your lights, that is. But your lights are so bright and highly placed that they bring out the bags under my eyes and the gutter snipe in my character. They always did, and they always will. There's really nothing I can do about it. Except perhaps go away. Would you like me to go away? Now? This very minute? I promise I will if you truly want me to. You don't even have to answer. A valedictory little nod will be enough.
Of course I don't want you to go away. With all my faults, and in spite of my jaundiced view of my fellow creatures, I am seldom discourteous.
I'd like it to be something warmer than your courtesy that wishes me to stay.
I fear I can offer you little more at the moment, Carlotta, except perhaps curiosity, which is even less complimentary.
Don't be waspish, my dear, just as we're getting along so nicely. At least you can congratulate yourself on having had a fabulously successful career. How wonderful to be able to entertain and amuse so many millions of people for such a long time. No wonder you got a knighthood. Eventually.
I'm beginning to suspect that you are here as an enemy. I hoped for a friend.
Did you, Hugo? Did you really?
Perhaps I was wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I think I'm more friend than foe. But I suppose there must still be a little bitterness left. After all, we were lovers once. For 2 whole years, actually. Our parting was not very happy, was it?
Fairly inevitable, at any rate.
I really was very much in love with you.
And I with you.
Oh, how convincingly you said that.
Oh, really, Carlotta? Shall we stop sorting out our dead emotions now? I dislike looking at faded photographs.
Why did you write so unkindly about me in your memoirs?
Now I'm beginning to understand.
Oh, no, you're not. You're merely jumping to conclusions. That was always one of your most glaring defects.
Why can't we concentrate for a moment on some of my glaring assets? It might lighten the atmosphere.
We will. When you've answered my question.
My autobiography was the assessment of the events and experiences of my life up to the date of writing it. I endeavoured to be as objective and truthful as possible. If, in the process, I happened to hurt your feelings, I apologize. There was no unkindness intended. I merely wrote what I thought to be true.
Your book may have been an assessment of the outward experiences of your life, but I cannot feel that you were entirely honest about your inner ones.
Why should I be? My inner feelings are my own affair.
In that case, the book was sailing under false colours.
And all this because I described you as a mediocre actress?
Oh, did you really say that? I'd forgotten. How catty of you.
I've already said I was sorry.
No, my dear, you apologised. It isn't quite the same thing.
I'm sorry, then. There. Will that do?
Yes, that will do. For the moment.
If our first evening together after so many years is to be devoted entirely to mutual apologies, it may become tedious.
I think I can guarantee that whatever the evening may become, it will not be tedious.
Do I detect an undercurrent of menace? Is it in your mind to revive our dead and forgotten sex duel?
Is that how you remember it? How sad.
What is it that you want of me?
At the moment, dinner.
Carlotta.
I only had a salad for lunch and I'm famished.
Very well. Have it your own way. I'm prepared to play any game you wish to play, up to a point. But do remember, won't you, that I tire easily. The dinner is ordered anyhow. I even remembered that you like caviar.
Oh, that was sweet of you. The first time I ever tasted it was with you. You took me to Ciro's for supper after the show.
Was I still wooing you then, or had I won?
You'd already won, more or less. But I think the caviar clinched it. I can remember what we had after the caviar, too.
What was it?
A filet mignon with sauce béarnaise and a green salad. And then a chocolate soufflé.
Did we by any chance have pink champagne as well?
Yes, I believe we did.
We'll see in a moment with what nostalgic charm history can repeat itself.
I don't believe you're really old at all.
Avanti!
Good evening, madame.
Good evening.
The table by the sofa, sir?
Yes, please, Felix.
Madame.
Thank you.
You can leave everything, Felix. We will serve ourselves.
Bien, monsieur. Madame?
How handsome he is, isn't he? Greek or Italian?
Half Italian, half Austrian, I believe.
He has just a slight look of my first husband, Peter. Poor Peter. His feet trod the world lightly, and alas, all too briefly.
He was the one who was killed in an aeroplane?
Yes. He was studying to be a pilot in San Diego. I was trying out a new play in San Francisco. They had the sense not to tell me till after the matinee.
How dreadful for you.
Yes. It was my first real sorrow. We'd only been married for 18 months. Too soon for the gold to rub away. Then, a little while afterwards, I had a miscarriage. That was my second real sorrow. It was quite a year. San Francisco is a divine city, and I love it. But I always seem to have bad luck when I play there. In 1977, I lost my last remaining tooth at the Curran Theatre.
Carlotta.
It was a gallant old stump that held my lower plate together. I remember saying to my understudy one day, "Sally, when this is out, you're on." And sure enough, a week later, it was, and she was.
I don't wish to sound fussy, Carlotta, but I really don't care to discuss false teeth during dinner.
Why, ever not. That's when they're a force most to be reckoned with.
Nevertheless, I should welcome a change of subject.
Oh, dear Hugo, I'm so sorry. I remember now, you always hated spades being called spades. What shall we talk about? Perhaps you'd like some further vignettes from my rather ramshackle career.
And provided they are general rather than clinical.
Well, let me see now. My second husband, Vernon Ritchie, was my leading man in a ghastly play about the Deep South, which ran for ages.
Was he a good actor?
No, terrible. But he made up for his performances on the stage by his performances in the boudoir. I didn't say bed in order to spare your feelings.
Thank you. I appreciate your delicacy.
When the war came to us in America, he joined the Navy and was killed in the Pacific.
Was that another great sorrow?
No, just a sadness.
What decided you to make your life in America rather than in Europe, where you were born?
Because I happened to be there, I suppose. I went there originally on account of you. It was your play, if you remember, that first deposited me on the Great White Way, where it ran exactly 10 days.
That was no surprise to me. I never thought they'd understand it.
Do you know, Hugo, I have a terrible feeling that they did.
Let me help you to some caviar.
Thank you.
And your third husband?
Dear old Spike. As I told you, he's a movie agent. Very successful one, too. He handles a lot of the big stars.
That sounds vaguely pornographic.
Hooray! A little joke at last. Almost North Colour little joke, too. Things are looking up.
And you've never appeared in the London theatre since my first play?
Oh, yes, twice.
I don't remember hearing about it.
Why should you? As a matter of fact, on each occasion, you were away in the Far East. I believe you were on one of your excavating expeditions.
Excavating expeditions?
Yes. Digging for treasure trove in the trusting minds of the innocent.
You have a malicious tongue, Carlotta.
Yes, I really should learn to keep it between my false teeth. Let's stop talking about me now. Tell me about Hilde.
I really see no reason to discuss Hilde with you.
I truly want to know, not from idle curiosity, but because I liked her. She has wisdom and repose, and her eyes are kind. A little sad, perhaps, but kind. I suspect tragedy in her life.
There was a tragedy in her life. She managed to escape from Nazi Germany, but had to leave her childhood sweetheart behind, a young poet called Gerhard Händel. He died later in a concentration camp. Now, are you satisfied?
Satisfied is not quite the word I would have chosen, but I am pleased you told me.
Am I too early, sir?
No, we finished. You'd better open the wine.
Dear monsieur?
Champagne, oh, Hugo. I have a feeling it's going to be pink.
It is.
Ah, how disarming of you to be so sentimental. Do you remember the cottage at Taplow and driving down together on summer nights after the show?
Yes, I remember.
And the weekend we went to Paris, and I got back to the theatre on the Monday night exactly 7 minutes after curtain up. My understudy was all dressed and ready to go on.
Perfect as ever, Felix.
Thank you, sir.
I often wonder why you didn't write any more plays. Your dialogue was so pointed and witty.
Now, you flatter me, Carlotta.
I've read everything you've ever written.
You flatter me more than ever.
I haven't said I've read everything you've ever written. I ventured no opinion, flattering or otherwise.
The statement alone is flattering enough.
Yes. Yes, I expect it is. Oh, dear.
That was a pensive sigh.
I've been in America too long. It's so lovely to see a steak that doesn't look like a bedroom slipper.
Tout va bien, monsieur?
Oui, excellent. Merci, Felix.
À votre service, monsieur?
He really is most attractive, isn't he? Those glorious shoulders.
I've never noticed them.
They're probably padded anyhow. Life can be dreadfully treacherous.
You really are extraordinary, Carlotta. You don't look a day over 50.
I should hope not, after 3 cellular injections and 2 facelifts.
Carlotta.
It's wonderful how they do it now. You can hardly see the scars at all.
What on earth possessed you to tell me that?
Oh, dear. Now I've shocked you again.
Aesthetically, yes, you have.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just as we were making such progress.
As the object of such operations is presumably to create an illusion, why destroy the illusion by telling everybody about it?
Quite right, Hugo. As a matter of fact, you could do with a little snip yourself, just under the chin.
I wouldn't dream of it.
It'd do wonders for your morale.
My morale is perfectly satisfactory as it is, thank you.
Long may it remain so.
Why did you come here, Carlotta?
I told you. I'm having a course of injections at Professor Boromelli's clinic.
Professor Boromelli?
Yes. Do you know him?
I know of him. His reputation is rather dubious.
In what way?
The general consensus of opinion is that he's a quack.
Quack or no quack, he's an old duck.
Don't be foolish, Carlotta.
Oh, there's no need to stamp on my little joke as though it were a cockroach.
Well, I'm still waiting to hear the reason that's induced you to make this rather tardy reappearance in my life. It must be a fairly strong one.
Not so very strong, really. It's only actually an irrelevant little favour. Irrelevant to you, I mean, but important to me.
What is it?
Prepare yourself for a tiny shock.
I'm quite prepared. Go on.
I, too, have written an autobiography.
Have you? How interesting.
There's a distinct chill in your voice.
I'm sorry, I was unaware of it.
It is to be published in the autumn.
Congratulations. Who by?
Doubleday in New York and Heinemann in London.
Excellent.
I'm so glad you approve.
And have you written it all yourself, or have you employed what I believe is described as a ghost writer?
No, Hugo. I've written every word of it myself.
Well done. I suppose you want me to write an introductory preface.
No, I've already done that myself.
Well, what is it, then? What is it that you want of me?
Permission to publish your letters.
Letters? What letters?
The letters you wrote to me when we were lovers. I've kept them all.
Whatever letters I wrote to you at that time were private. They concern no one but you and me.
I agree, but that was a long time ago, before we'd either of us become celebrated enough to write our memoirs.
I cannot feel that you, Carlotta, have even yet achieved that particular distinction.
Doubleday and Heinemann do.
I believe that some years ago Mrs. Patrick Campbell made a similar request to Mr. George Bernard Shaw, and his reply was, "Certainly not. I have no intention of playing the horse to your Lady Godiva."
How unkind.
It would ill become me to attempt to improve on Mr. George Bernard Shaw.
You mean you refuse?
Certainly. I most emphatically refuse.
I thought you would.
In that case, why bother to ask me?
I just took a chance. After all, life can be full of surprises sometimes, can't it?
If your forthcoming autobiography is to be peppered with that sort of bromide, it cannot fail to achieve the bestseller list.
Oh, you can turn nasty quickly, can't you? You were quite cosy and relaxed a moment ago.
I'm completely horrified by your suggestion. It's in the worst possible taste.
Never mind. Let's have some more champagne.
Not for me, thank you.
There's quite a lot here.
Finish it, by all means.
Oh, Quack Quack will be furious.
Oh, don't be so childish.
You used to enjoy my jokes when you and I were young, love, and all the world was new.
Flippancy in a girl of 21 can be quite attractive. In a woman of more mature years, it is liable to be embarrassing.
Like bad temper in a pompous old gentleman? Ah, perfect timing, Felix. I congratulate you.
Thank you, madame.
The lake is like glass tonight. There'll be a moon presently.
How clever of you to know.
There was a moon last night. I just put two and two together. Felix, Sir Hugo tells me that you're half Austrian and half Italian.
That is correct, madame.
Which half do you like best?
Please, Carlotta.
I find the two perfectly satisfactory, madame.
I expect you find both the waltz and the tarantella come quite naturally to you.
That will be all for the moment, Felix. Please bring the coffee immediately.
Subito, signore. Signor.
I hate familiarity with servants.
Oh, eat up your souffle, for God's sake. Stop being so disagreeable.
How dare you speak to me like that?
Dare? Really, Hugo? What have I got to fear from you?
I consider your rudeness insufferable.
And I consider your pomposity insufferable.
I should like to remind you that you are my guest.
Well, of course I am. Don't be so silly.
And as such, I have the right to demand from you at least a semblance of good manners.
Semblance of good manners. Talk about clichés. There's a clangor if ever I heard one.
Once and for all, Carlotta, I will not tolerate any more of this.
For heaven's sake, calm down. You'll have a fit in a minute if you don't stop gibbering.
I am not gibbering.
You could fool me.
I think, Carlotta, that as we really haven't very much more to say to each other, it would be considerate of you to leave as soon as you've finished eating. As I told you, I've been rather ill recently, and it is my habit to retire early. I also feel that I have reached an age when I no longer have to tolerate being spoken to as you spoke just now.
You're determined to decline so rapidly, you'll soon reach an age when nobody will be able to speak to you at all.
I'm sorry if I appear to be discourteous, but after all, it was you who forced us both into this rather unprofitable meeting. I've done my best to receive you kindly, make the evening a pleasant one. That I have failed is only too obvious. I'm sorry also that I was unable to accede to your request. I'm sure, after you've given yourself time to think it over, that you will realize how impertinent it was.
Why impertinent?
Not having read your book, I've naturally no way of judging whether it is good, bad, or indifferent. I am perfectly aware, however, that whatever its merits, the inclusion of private letters from a man in my position would enhance its value considerably.
Oh.
The impertinence, I think, lies in your assuming for a moment that I should grant you permission to publish them.
Oh.
We met and parted many years ago. Since then, we have neither of us communicated with each other. You have pursued your career, I've pursued mine. Mine has been eminently successful. Yours, perhaps, less so. Doesn't it strike you as impertinent that after so long a silence you should suddenly ask me to provide you with my name as a stepping stone?
Am I allowed a cup of coffee before I leave?
Of course, he'll bring it in a moment.
Poor Hugo.
I'm in no need of your commiseration.
Think carefully. You may not be quite so sure.
I haven't the faintest idea what you are implying, nor, I must frankly admit, am I particularly interested.
I am implying that a man who is capable of refusing a request as gracelessly and contemptuously as you have just done can be neither happy nor secure.
Happy and secure? My dear Carlotta, I salute the facility with which you have picked up the glib, sentimental jargon of American women's magazines.
Look out, Hugo. You're riding for a fall. Your high horse may suddenly buck and throw you.
Coffee, monsieur?
For Madame only. Put it there and take the dinner table away.
Very good, sir.
You're afraid of not sleeping?
I never drink coffee in the evening.
What about a nice cup of cocoa? Inelegant, but soothing.
That will be all, monsieur.
Yes, thank you.
Good night, sir. Madame?
Good night, Felix. The dinner was delicious, and the service impeccable.
Madame is most kind. À votre service, monsieur.
Do you take sugar?
Yes, please, a little. How long have I got before the curfew sounds?
Here's your coffee.
Your letters really are very good, Hugo. It's disappointing that you won't allow me to use them. They are love letters, of course, up to a point, but brilliantly written. The more ardent passages are exquisitely phrased, even though they do give the impression that they were commissioned by your head rather than dictated by your heart.
I have no wish to discuss the matter any further.
It seems a pity that posterity should be deprived of such an illuminating example of your earlier work. Well, good night, Hugo. I really am sorry that the evening has ended so uncosily.
So am I, Carlotta. So am I.
To revert for a moment to the unfortunate subject of the letters. You may have them if you like. They're of no further use to me.
That is most generous of you.
I'm afraid I can't let you have the others, though. That would be betraying a sacred promise.
Others? What others?
Your letters to Perry.
My letters to Perry? What do you mean?
Perry Sheldon. I happened to be with him when he died.
What do you know about Perry Sheldon?
Among other things, that he was the only true love of your life. Good night, Hugo. Sleep well.
My God. Carlotta,
Thank you, Felix.
come back here. Come back at once.
Well,
I want to talk to you.
of course you do. I'm sorry, Hugo. That was an unkind trick. But you had it coming to you. Shall we sit down? Looks rather foolish, sizing each other up like a couple of Japanese wrestlers. Oh, by the way, I met that charming Felix in the corridor and ordered another bottle of champagne. I do hope you don't mind. I thought we might need it.
I see you have decided to set the mood in a light vein.
You are the challenged. You have the choice of weapons. We can send the champagne away again, if you like.
The champagne, monsieur.
Thank you, Felix. Put it on the table.
Would you wish me to open it?
Please do, Felix. I'm sure that neither Sir Hugo nor I could manage it.
Certainement, madame.
I was right about the moon. Look, Hugo. It's making a path right across the lake. How sad for you, Felix, to have to rush about serving people in this stuffy hotel when you might be dancing your heart away in one of those little open-air cafes on the shore.
There is time for everything, madame.
But not for everybody, Felix. Not for everybody.
Your drink, madame.
Thank you, Felix.
Monsieur?
Put it down, please. I'll drink it later.
That will be all, monsieur?
Yes, that will be all. Good night.
I have put a bottle of Evian in your room, madame, as you requested.
Thank you, Felix. Good night.
Good night, madame.
Well, I must say it's pleasant to have one request granted, even if it's only a bottle of Evian.
I'm finding the flippancy of your manner extremely irritating.
Now that I come to think of it, you always did. But in any case, this is not a tragic situation, Hugo. All the tragedy was drained out of it when poor Perry died. There's only comedy left now. Rather bitter comedy, I admit, but not entirely unenjoyable.
You must forgive my lack of humour.
We never had much, anyhow. Wit, yes, but true humour lies in the capacity to laugh at oneself, and that you could never do.
You said you were with Perry Sheldon when he died. Is that true?
Yes.
And you have in your possession letters written by me to him?
Yes. Love letters, most of them.
Did you steal those letters?
No, Hugo. I didn't steal them. He gave them to me 3 days before he died. They're less meticulously lyrical than the ones you wrote to me, but there is genuine feeling in them. They were written in your earlier years, remember, before your mind had become corrupted by fame and your heart by caution. The last ones you wrote to him were in the last years of his life. There are 3 of them. All refusals to help him when he was in desperate straits. They are also fascinating in their way, masterpieces of veiled invective, pure gold for your future biographer.
And are you intending to be that biographer?
Oh, no, I'm not objective enough. Memory is curiously implacable. It can forget joy, but it seldom forgets humiliation.
Have you found a suitable biographer?
Of course.
May I ask his name?
Certainly. His name is Johnston Chandler. He used to be a professor at Harvard. I met him when I was playing Hedda Gabler in Boston.
I don't give a damn what you were playing in Boston.
I know you don't, but it was Hedda Gabler.
But am I to believe that this eminent Harvard professor is contemplating writing a biography of me without even asking my permission?
Oh, he'll probably get round to that later, when he's completed his notes. He's been planning it for years. He was always a fan of yours.
Was he indeed?
He once wrote a monograph on you for the Atlantic Monthly. It was called Technique and What Next. He's a fervent admirer of your literary craftsmanship. He said that your autobiography was the most superlative example of sustained camouflage that he'd ever read. He certainly is a smart cookie.
My knowledge of American slang is limited.
The exact English translation would be clever biscuit.
And is it your intention to hand over to this clever biscuit private letters of mine which were written to somebody else over 30 years ago?
Oh, but you must realize that they're exceedingly valuable documents. Their importance to anyone who wishes to make an analytical survey of your life and career is too obvious to be ignored. Owing to your own ceaseless vigilance, that bubble reputation you've created must be almost as solid as a football by now. You mustn't be surprised that certain people would like to kick it about a bit.
I presume you've taken the trouble to acquaint yourself with the legal aspects of the situation?
The legal aspects of the situation are fairly simple. Any letter, from the moment it's posted, automatically becomes the property of the recipient. In this case, Perry was the recipient. He made the letters over to me in a written statement, which was witnessed by a public notary. They now legally belong to me, and I am at liberty to do what I like with them.
I fear you have been misinformed. The letters may indeed be your property, but according to law they may not be published without my permission, or when I die, the permission of my estate.
I'm sure you're right. But so far there's been no question of being published. The important fact is that they exist, and for so long as they continue to exist, they will remain a potential menace to that reputation of yours.
Where are the letters?
I have them with me.
You've not yet told me precisely what you intend to do with them.
All in good time, Hugo. All in good time.
This is intolerable.
Keep calm.
I've been calm long enough. I'm sick to death of this interminable, witless skirmishing. Come to the point. If there is a point beyond your feline compulsion to torment me and insult me. The implications behind all the highfalutin rubbish you've been talking have not been lost on me. The veiled threat is perfectly clear.
What veiled threat?
The threat to expose to the world the fact that I have had, in the past, homosexual tendencies.
Tendencies in the past? What nonsense. You're as queer as a coot.
That's not true!
Don't shout! It's a waste of adrenaline. You've no idea what it does to the inside of your stomach when you work yourself into a state like that. You won't drink champagne. For God's sake, have a little brandy and pull yourself together.
I don't care what you do. Do you hear me? You can publish whatever letters you like and be damned to you.
Here, Hugo. Drink this and stop being hysterical.
Go away. Go away from me. Leave me alone.
There, now look what you've done. Brandy stains all over that nice rug. For shame, Hugo. You're behaving like a petulant little boy at a children's party.
I'm an old man, Carlotta. As I've already told you, I've recently been ill, very ill. I've neither the strength nor the will to continue this embittered conflict that you forced upon me. I'm too tired.
If I poured you out another glass of brandy, would you again dash it to the ground, or would you drink it calmly and sensibly?
I'm not supposed to drink brandy. It's bad for my heart.
I feel on this particular occasion a little license might be permitted. Here. I think that your heart, what there is of it, will survive.
Why do you hate me, sir? Is it because you once loved me?
You got it all wrong, Hugo. I don't hate you. And loving you I only dimly remember.
You underrate my intelligence.
Oh, no. I may have overrated your stamina, but I would never underrate your intelligence. Your intelligence is of a very high order indeed, up to a certain point. It's what happens over and above that point that arouses my curiosity.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You flew into a fine theatrical passion just now when I said that you'd been a homosexual all your life. Did you consider that an insult?
Wasn't it intended to be?
Of course not. We're living in the 1980s, not the 1890s.
This sophisticated tolerance hardly fits in with the sneer in your voice when you accused me of it.
You're oversensitive. If there had been a sneer in my voice, which there wasn't, it would not have been a sneer at the fact, but at your lifelong repudiation of it. In any case, I didn't accuse you of it, for the simple reason that I don't consider it a crime. What I am accusing you of is complacent cruelty and moral cowardice.
On what evidence?
On the evidence of every book that you've ever written, and the dismal record of your personal relationships.
You know nothing of my personal relationships.
On the contrary, I know a great deal about them. I've been making diligent inquiries for quite a long time. It's been rather fun. Your ivory tower is not nearly so sacrosanct as you imagine it to be. You can't be half so naive as to imagine that a man of your sustained eminence could ever be entirely immune from the breath of scandal. However gingerly you may have trodden your secret paths.
I'm not interested in the scruffy surmises of the mediocre.
By no means were all the people I discussed you with mediocre, and by no means were all the things I heard surmising.
Nor am I interested in your opinion, nor anyone else's opinion of my character. What I am interested in is the motive that impelled you to come here.
I suppose, basically, it was irritation.
Irritation?
That's what I said. I'm not by nature a vindictive character. But you have irritated me for years, and I'm determined to put an end to it before my whole system is poisoned.
Poppycock, it isn't irritation that's poisoning your system, but envy.
Oh, dear, oh,
yes,
dear,
envy and bitterness and regret for a life that you might just possibly have shared if you'd been bright enough to prove yourself worthy of it.
Oh, calm down, Hugo. You'll be off the rails in a minute.
Would you be kind enough to get me a little water? I'm feeling suddenly rather ill.
Get it yourself. You're strong as an ox. That was rude of me. I apologize. After all, you are older than I am.
How much do you want for those letters?
I really am sorry for you, Hugo.
That is entirely irrelevant.
It must be truly horrible to have gone through life holding your fellow creatures in such bitter contempt.
Your present behaviour is hardly calculated to improve my outlook.
Bravo!
Stop prevaricating and name your price.
The letters are not for sale.
We seem to have reached an impasse.
Yes, we do rather, don't we?
What did Perry die of?
Leukemia. He suffered no pain.
Oh, I'm glad.
He'd had a very bad attack of hepatitis the year before.
Brought on by drink?
Yes. Yes, I think so. But he didn't drink at all during the last months of his life.
How old was he? When he died, I mean.
Late 50s, early 60s. I'm not quite sure. He looked much older than that.
Yes, I expect he did.
He was painfully thin and had become rather deaf. I bought him a hearing aid.
That was generous of you.
It was comparatively inexpensive.
When did he die?
About 2 years ago.
I see.
The only vitality he had left was in his eyes. They still retained a glimmer of hope.
How do you expect me to react to all this, Carlotta?
Exactly as you are reacting. May even be quite genuine. But it isn't enough and it won't last. One swallow doesn't make a summer. You didn't even care that he died.
I didn't even know at the time. 2 years ago I was a long way away, in West Africa, as a matter of fact. I returned to Rome in the spring. Somebody told me. We were living in Rome at the time.
Yes, it was from Rome that you wrote your last 3 cruel letters to him.
I want those letters back, Carlotta.
Just those 3, or the earlier ones as well?
Well, all of them, of course. Has your Harvard professor seen them yet?
Not yet.
I see. Well?
If you had the choice of having the earlier letters back or the later ones, which would you choose?
The earlier ones.
Yes, I was afraid you'd say that.
You can also, I should imagine, understand my reasons.
Oh, yes. I understand your reasons perfectly. You would prefer to be regarded as cynical, mean, and unforgiving, rather than as a vulnerable human being capable of tenderness.
In these particular circumstances, yes.
Why?
Your mind is so clogged with outraged sentimentality that you fail to take into account one important factor in the situation.
Which is?
Until quite recently in England, homosexuality was a penal offence.
Was, not anymore.
Maybe, but even though the law has changed, there will still be a stigma attached to the love men dare not speak its name for generations to come. It takes more than a change in the law to uproot moral prejudice from the Anglo-Saxon mind.
Do you seriously believe that now, today, the sales of your books would diminish if the reading public discovered that you were sexually abnormal?
I neither know nor care. The point is I've no urge to martyr my reputation for the sake of self-indulgent exhibitionism.
Even that might be better than vitiating your considerable talent by dishonesty.
In what way have I been dishonest?
Subtly in all your novels and stories, but quite obviously in your autobiography.
I've already explained to you that my autobiography was an objective survey of my career. It was never intended to be an uninhibited expose of my sexual adventures.
In that case, why bring sex into it at all? It's a brilliant and entertaining book. Your observations on life and literature in general, and the people and places that you've seen, are witty and very often profound.
Thank you, Carlotta. Thank you very much indeed.
But why the constant implications of heterosexual ardour? Why those self-conscious, almost lascivious references to laughing-eyed damsels with scarlet lips and pointed breasts? And above all, why that contemptuous betrayal of Perry Sheldon?
I forbid you to say any more. There was no betrayal.
He loved you. He looked after you, waited on you hand and foot. For years he travelled the whole wide world with you, and yet in your book you dismiss him in a few lines as an adequate secretary.
My relationship with Perry Sheldon, none of your goddamn business.
Considering that I have in my possession a bundle of your highly compromising letters to him, that remark was plain silly.
You're planning to continue this venomous cat-and-mouse procedure indefinitely?
No, not indefinitely. Just until something happens.
What, in God's name?
Unconditional surrender.
I don't understand. What do you want of me?
A moment of truth, perhaps. Even an act of contrition.
That, if I may say so, is pretentious twaddle.
Has it ever occurred to you that you might have been responsible for Perry's death?
If I'd murdered him with my bare hands, it would still have nothing to do with you.
You discarded him ruthlessly, without a shred of gratitude or compassion. Having corrupted his character, destroyed his ambition, and deprived him of hope, you wrote him off like a bad debt.
He was a bad debt. He became an alcoholic. Alcoholics bore me.
And whose fault was it that he became an alcoholic?
His own.
Do you really think that you can shrug off the responsibility as casually as that?
You're implying, I suppose, that my tyranny drove him to it.
Not your tyranny. Your indifference.
Rubbish. Perry took to the bottle because he liked it, and because he was a weak and feckless character.
And yet you loved him. You loved him for quite a long while. Your letters prove it.
I should have thought that even with your cheap magazine mentality, you would have learnt by now that it is seldom with people's characters that one falls in love.
Granted. But when the first blind rapture begins to fade, most people have the instinctive grace to accept the situation without rancour, to make adjustments, to settle for a gentler climate.
I seem to hear the sound of violins.
If they didn't, very few human relationships based initially on physical attraction would survive.
I must frankly confess, Carlotta, that I'm beginning to weary of your simpering platitudes. If, for some reason, best known to yourself, you feel it your bounden duty to chastise me, to destroy my reputation, to batter me to the dust and lay bare the quivering secrets of my evil soul, I have no means of preventing you, so get on with it. Attack as much as you like, but for Christ's sake, don't bore me.
Like Justin Chandler, you two are quite a smart cookie.
I'm also an old cookie, and it's long past my bedtime.
Are you throwing me out again?
Yes, I am. The impasse remains. I have refused to give you permission to publish my letters to you in your damn book, and you've refused to sell me or give me my letters to Perry Sheldon. There doesn't seem to be anything more to discuss.
You're bluffing.
So are you.
I have no need to bluff. I hold the cards.
For one thing, I don't believe this Justin Chandler exists.
He exists, all right. But even if he didn't, the letters do.
I've seen no proof of that.
You will.
Well, suppose they do. If you have no intention of selling me the letters or giving them to me, what do you hope to gain? Why are you here? Is it perhaps a long-cherished, stale revenge for some imagined wrong I did you in the past?
No, it isn't that. Although the wrong you did me in the past was not imagined.
Through your relationship with me, you acquired a leading part which up to then nobody else had offered you. You were praised and photographed, paid attention to for the first time in your life, and you finally went off to the United States in a blaze of gratifying publicity. You cannot blame me for the fact that from then on you did not quite achieve the dazzling heights that had been predicted for you.
I did well enough. I have no complaints. But let's consider what you got out of the deal.
In the first place, I didn't regard our affair as a deal.
I was 21, and curiously enough, considering that I'd been involved in the theatre since I was 14, I was a virgin.
Are you now casting me in the role of the vile seducer?
Oh, not at all. We were both virgins. That is, from the heterosexual point of view.
Very well, I've registered that. Go on.
I didn't realize that at the time, of course. You were my first love. I loved you deeply and passionately. I had your photograph on the table by my bed. I used to kiss it every night before I turned out the light. Sometimes I even went to sleep with it under my pillow.
I hope you had the sense to take it out of its frame.
We'd been together for well over a year before I began to realize my exact status in the cautious pattern of your life.
Really, Carlotta, do you consider it entirely relevant to continue this musty, ancient soul-searching?
Yes, I do. I most emphatically do. You used me. You used me and betrayed me, as you've always used and betrayed every single human being who has ever shown you the slightest sign of true affection.
What way did I use you any more than you used me?
You waved me like a flag to prove a fallacy.
What fallacy?
That you were normal, that your morals were orderly, that you were, in fact, a regular guy.
Was that so unpardonable? I was young, ambitious, already almost a public figure. Was it so base of me to try to show to the world that I was capable of playing the game according to the rules?
Wasn't your deception of the world that I found so unpardonable. It was your betrayal of me and all the love and respect and admiration I felt for you. If you'd had the courage to trust me, to let me share your uneasy secret. Not in the first year, perhaps, but later on when things were becoming strained and difficult between us. If then you'd told me the truth, I would very possibly have been your loyal and devoted friend until this very minute. As it was, you let me, gradually, bit by bit, discover what my instincts had already half guessed. You elbowed me out of your life, vulgarly and without grace, Hugo. And I can remember even now the relief in your voice when you said goodbye and packed me off to America.
I didn't pack you off to America. You went with an excellent contract in a first-class stateroom.
I can see clearly that I am wasting my time.
You certainly are, and mine. The only interesting fact that has emerged from your impassioned tirades this evening is that in spite of a full life, 3 husbands, and an excessive amount of plastic surgery, you've managed to keep this ancient wound so freshly bleeding. You must be suffering from a sort of emotional haemophilia.
I salute you. You are an unregenerate old bitch!
Huh?
I do hope I haven't come back at an awkward moment. Were you discussing anything of importance?
No, nothing of the least importance.
We were just reminiscing.
Oh, how nice. It is always fun talking over old times, isn't it?
Enormous fun. Hugo and I have been in stitches, haven't we, Hugo?
I wish you'd take off that hat, Hilde. It makes you look like a cab driver.
Certainly, dear. I don't really care for it very much myself.
Have you been drinking?
Oh, yes, Lisa and I had a bottle of Rosé at dinner and 2 stingers us afterwards.
Hilde!
You seem to have a positive genius for driving those who love you to the bottle, Hugo.
It wasn't Hugo's fault, not really. I just felt like it.
You'd better ring for some black coffee.
No, thank you, Hugo. I do not want any black coffee. It would keep me awake. But now that my wicked secret has been discovered, I think I will take another little drink.
Hilde!
No, it is good to be hung for a sheep or for a lamb. I would have liked it to have been a stinger because they are so delicious. But we have no condiment, and it is too much trouble to send for any at this time of night, so I will make do with just the brandy alone.
I absolutely forbid you to drink any more brandy, Hilde. I think you'd better go to bed.
En wären sollst du, sollst en werden, das ist der ewige Gesang. Das ist von Goethe. He was a great genius.
What does it mean?
Deny yourself. You must deny yourself. That is the song that never ends. Das ist besser. Das ist sehr gut.
You are perfectly aware that I do not like you to speak German in my presence. It's a language that I detest.
The language of Goethe is not merely German, it is universal. You must not forget, Hugo, that my translations of your books have earned you a great deal of money in Germany. It is ungrateful of you to turn up your nose. You have no idea of his popularity in my country, Miss Grey. The Winding River went into 3 editions in 5 months.
I cannot feel that the subject of my foreign royalties can be of the smallest interest to Miss Grey.
Wrong again, Hugo. Everything you've ever done or written is of absorbing interest to me.
Now, is not that the most charming thing to say?
Miss Grey has said so many charming things this evening that I'm quite confused.
Why are you so suddenly formal, Hugo? You were calling her Carlotta when she first arrived.
I hope you will call me Carlotta, too.
Oh, but of course, with utmost pleasure.
Oh, my God.
Lisa was so amused when I told her about this strange, unexpected reunion you were having with Carlotta tonight after so many years.
She must have a very warped sense of humour.
What was it about the situation that amused her?
Oh, I don't know. I expect I was a little indiscreet. But it was such a long, long time ago, wasn't it? I mean, it couldn't really matter speaking of it now.
You had no right to speak of it at all.
You mean that you told your friend that Hugo and I had once been lovers?
Not in so many words.
Was that why she laughed?
I don't remember. We were just talking. She has always been most admiring of Hugo as a writer, although I must admit she does not care for him very much as a man. But that is largely his own fault, because he has now and then been a little offish with her. We were talking in German, naturally, and she quoted from some lines of Heinrich Heine. Ich weiß nicht, was soll es bedeuten, dass ich so traurig bin. Ein Märchen aus alten Zeiten, das kommt mir nicht aus dem Sinn.
Please translate.
I don't know why I'm so sad. I cannot get out of my head a fairy tale of olden times. That was when she laughed.
I wonder why.
Oh, you are not angry, I hope.
Of course I'm not.
You may not be, but I am.
Oh, please don't be, Hugo. You know how bad it is for you. You have been looking angry ever since I came into the room. Is there anything wrong between you and Carlotta, I mean? Has something bad happened?
Oh, no, it's all been delightful. Carlotta came here this evening either to blackmail me or reform me. I have not yet discovered which.
Blackmail? What do you mean? I do not understand. I do not understand at all what is happening.
If you'd spent less time guzzling down stingers with that leather-skinned old saphist, your perceptions might be clearer.
You will not speak of Lisa like that. She is my close friend, and I am devoted to her.
Then you should have more discrimination.
Nor will I permit you to speak to me in that tone in front of a stranger. It is in very bad taste and makes me ashamed of you.
Hooray! A sudden flood of mutiny.
When you are ill and in discomfort, I am willing to endure your rudeness to me, but now you are no longer ill. You are perfectly well, and I will stand no more of it. This very evening, you accused me of being jealous of your friends. You even said I was jealous of Carlotta. But the truth of the matter is you have no friends. You have driven them all away with your bitter tongue. And the only one who is close to you in the world is me. And I will say one thing more.
Oh, my God.
I will choose whatever friends I like. I will drink as many stingers as I like. And so that there shall be no further misunderstanding between us, I am at this moment going to have some more brandy.
This is certainly not your evening, Hugo.
Now then. I should like to know what all this is about, this talk of blackmail. What does it mean? What has been taking place?
Shall I explain, Hugo? Or will you?
No explanation is necessary. I do not wish Hilde to be involved in anything that we have discussed tonight. It's none of her concern.
On the contrary, I should say that it concerned her most vitally.
In addition to which, I do not consider her to be in a fit state to do anything but go to bed.
Oh, what nonsense. My mind is perfectly clear, perhaps a lot clearer than it usually is. It is only my legs that are a little uncertain. Therefore, I shall sit down.
In that case, I shall retire to bed myself.
And leave me in command of the field. I cannot feel that even for the sake of making a majestic exit, you would be as foolish as that.
I am waiting.
Well, Hugo?
Carlotta is about to publish a book of her memoirs, and she asked my permission to include in it some love letters I wrote to her. I refused my permission.
Why? It seems a most reasonable request. Are they nice letters?
Charming. They make up in style for what they lack in passionate intensity.
I will explain why, if you will stop interrupting me. I go on.
Oh, yes, dear. Please do.
I have no idea of the quality of Carlotta's book, but I certainly wouldn't wish to be associated with the type of sensation-mongering journalistic claptrap which so often passes for literature in the brave new world.
I see no reason why you should think it would be like that at all.
Thank you, Hilde.
A little later, it transpired that Carlotta has in her possession some other letters, written by me to someone else. These she threatens to hand over to an ex-Harvard professor called Johnston, who is apparently planning to write a biography of me.
He will do it very well. He's a very clever man and a brilliant writer.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I say.
You mean you know him?
Oh, not personally. We have corresponded quite a lot over the last few years. He wrote a monograph on you for the Atlantic Monthly. I didn't show it to you because I thought it might make you cross.
Do you mean to say that you've been corresponding with this man about me behind my back without saying a word about it?
There is no need to look so agitated. I have said nothing indiscreet. He asked politely for certain information, and I saw no harm in giving it to him.
What sort of information?
Oh, one days of publication, list of the places you have visited on your travels, a few small biographical details.
How dared you? How dared you? You've no right to give out details of my private life to strangers without consulting me first. You've been guilty of the most shameful disloyalty.
I have never been guilty of disloyalty to you, Hugo, never in my whole life. And you will please never say such a thing to me again. Nor did I give Mr. Chandler any details of your private life, and you know that I would never do so in a million years. Those other letters, Carlotta, are they love letters?
I think I would rather not say.
That means they are. Please tell me. It is important for me to know.
Very well. Yes.
Who are they written to?
I really cannot tell you that.
Hugo, will you tell me?
There would be nothing to be gained by my telling you. They were written many years ago, long before I married you.
It is of no consequence. I think I can guess anyhow, but I would have liked you to tell me yourself. As a matter of fact, I would have liked you to have told me long ago. You would have shown me that even if you didn't love me, you at least were fond enough of me to trust me.
They were no concern of yours. They belonged to a part of my life that was over and done with.
Over and done with. Oh, Hugo. Earlier this evening you called me a camel, a dromedary, and an ass. But I would like to point out to you that all those three animals are more sensible than an ostrich.
Pray, what do you mean by that?
For 20 years I have looked after your business affairs, dealt with your correspondence, typed your manuscripts, and shared at least the outward aspects of your life. I cannot seriously imagine that in all that time you have been able to withhold many secrets from me. The letters were written to Perry Sheldon, weren't they?
Yes. Yes, they were.
I thought so. As a matter of interest, I found some of his replies years ago when we packed up the house in Chapel Street.
Where are they now?
In your strongbox in the bank. I put them into a sealed envelope and wrote on the outside, "Not to be opened until after my death." I signed it Hugo Latymer. I often have to forge Hugo's signature when writing his letters, you know. It really isn't very difficult.
Why didn't you destroy them?
Because they concerned you intimately. You are a great writer and a famous man. Nothing that concerns you should be destroyed.
Not even compromising letters that could do infinite damage to my reputation.
It is your work that is important, not your reputation.
Oh, Hugo, think how surprising it would be for posterity to discover that you had a heart after all.
Be quiet, Carlotta.
Actually, I have been quiet for rather a long time.
And these letters you have from Hugo to Perry, you wish us to buy them from you?
No, I've already explained to Hugo that they're not for sale.
You intend to give them to Mr. Justine Chandler?
Possibly. I've not yet decided.
As you know Hugo's feelings in the matter, Miss Gray, that would be a malicious and unforgivable thing to do.
I notice that you no longer call me Carlotta.
I called you Carlotta when I thought we were to be friends, but I cannot possibly be friends with anyone who sets out deliberately to hurt my husband.
You are certainly magnanimous.
It has nothing to do with magnanimity. It is a statement of fact.
I was thinking of Hugo's treatment of you.
As you have only seen Hugo and me together this evening for the first time in your life, you cannot know anything about his treatment of me one way or the other.
You don't find it humiliating to have been used by him for 20 years, not only as an unpaid secretary, manager, and housekeeper, but as a social camouflage as well?
Once and for all, Carlotta, I forbid you to talk like that.
There is no point in losing your temper, Hugo. We can neither of us prevent Miss Gray from saying whatever she likes.
You admitted just now that he had never said a word to you about Perry Sheldon. Has he ever, in all your years together, done you the honour of taking you into his confidence about anything that really mattered to him? Has he ever once trusted you with the secrets of his private heart?
It was not necessary. I knew them already.
That is an evasion, and you know it.
You are a very forceful woman, Miss Gray, and Hugo is a complex and brilliant man. But it is beginning to dawn on me that I have a great deal more common sense than either of you. I think I can understand why you came here tonight, although I can only guess at the bitterness that must have passed between you. Your visit actually has little or nothing to do with permission to publish letters or threats or blackmail. Has it?
No. No, it hasn't.
Am I right in suspecting that you really came to resolve a problem of your own ego? To redress a wrong that was done to it more than half a lifetime ago?
In a way, yes.
I thought so.
But it is not quite as simple as that, nor, as a matter of fact, quite so self-centred. I genuinely wanted to prove something to him, something that with all his brilliance and talent and eminence he has never yet taken into account.
What is it that he has failed to take into account?
You, being the closest to him, should know better than anybody. He has never taken into account the value of kindness and the importance of compassion. He has never had the courage or the humility to face the fact that it was not whom he loved that really mattered, but his own capacity for loving.
Hark the herald angels sing.
Stop behaving like that, Hugo. You should be ashamed.
I see that as well as being unpaid secretary, manager, and housekeeper, you have now elected to become my dear old nanny.
Oh, dear. I'm afraid that my mission has most dismally failed.
It could never have succeeded. You are a sentimentalist. Hugo is not. I, too, am a sentimentalist, but then I happen to be a German, and sentimentality is ingrained in the German character.
Turgid mysticism, Santa Claus, Christmas trees, and gas chambers.
You see, he is quite incapable of recognizing people as individuals. His mind classifies all human beings in groups and races and types. Whenever he is angry with me, he punishes me for my country's sins. He is a profound cynic, which is one of the reasons he has been proclaimed as the great satirical writer of our time.
Why does he mean so much to you? Why are you so loyal to him?
Because he is all that I have. You have lived so differently from me, Miss Grey. But I quite see why you must find my attitude difficult to understand. I have only loved one man in my life, one of my own countrymen, who was destroyed by my own countrymen. When I came to Hugo as secretary, I was desolate, without hope, and when a little later he asked me to marry him, it seemed like a sudden miracle. Oh, please do not misunderstand me. I was not in love with him, and I knew that he could never be in love with me. I also knew why, and was not deceived as to his reasons for asking me. I recognized his need for a facade, and was quite content to supply it. I thought that it was a most realistic and sensible arrangement, and, what is more, I think so still. Oh, I am not pretending that our married life has been 20 years of undiluted happiness. He is frequently sarcastic and disagreeable to me, and I have often been unhappy and lonely. But then, so has he. The conflict within him between his natural instincts and the law of society has been for the most of his life a perpetual problem that he's had to grapple with alone.
Wouldn't it at least have eased the problem if he had trusted you enough to share it with you?
Possibly. But it would have been out of character. Now, when the passing years have diminished the conflict, he is growing to rely on me more and to need me more, and that, with my sentimental Teutonic mentality, is the reward I have been waiting for.
Hilde.
Don't interrupt for a moment, Hugo. I have not quite finished. To revert to the Perry Shelton letters, you must, of course, dispose of them as you see fit. If Mr. Justin Chandler wishes for them, and you wish to give them to him, there is nothing we can do to prevent you. But I must warn you that, according to law, he will not be allowed to publish them without Hugo's written permission. He may possibly quote them and paraphrase them to a certain extent, I believe, but I cannot feel that a really good writer would waste time in referring to them at all. If Perry Sheldon had been in any way significant as a human being, if he had been in any way worthy of attention on his own account, apart from the fact of his early relationship with Hugo, there might have been some point in disclosing them. But he wasn't. He was a creature of little merit, foolish, conceited, dishonest, and self-indulgent.
How do you know?
Through Lisa.
Huh?
Curiously enough, we were talking about him this evening. She knew him for years when she was a scriptwriter in Hollywood. She lent him money on several occasions, but, as she said, it is no use lending money to the morally defeated. They only spend it on further defeat.
Now, here they are, Hugo. Here are the letters. They can be no practical use to me or to Mr. Justin Chandler. They might conceivably, however, be of service to you.
Thank you.
I cannot say that I entirely regret this evening. It has been most interesting and almost embarrassingly revealing. If many of the things I've said have hurt you, I'm sorry. I don't apologize. I'm just sorry. I'm also sorry for having kept you up so late.
I will arrange to send you in the morning permission to use the letters I wrote you. Good night, Carlotta.
Good night, Hugo. Good night, Lady Latymer.
Good night, Carlotta. I will see you out.
There's no necessity for that. My room's only just along the corridor.
Nevertheless, I should like to.
I heard you come in.
Yes. I thought you did.
That was A Song at Twilight by Noël Coward, with Michael Denison as Hugo Latymer, Jill Bennett as Hilde Latymer, Dulcie Gray as Carlotta, and Sean Barrett as Felix. A Song at Twilight was directed by David Johnston.